Using MI6 and CIA's covert operations in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Why did MI6 and CIA operatives secretly fund Taliban and Al-Qaeda under the disguise of the NGO? Talk for Peace. Spies uncovered. For decades, the world was told that NATO forces were in Afghanistan to fight terrorism. But what if the real truth is much darker? What if those claiming to fight terrorists were secretly funding them? Secret documents and whistleblower testimonies revealed that MI6 and the CIA funded, armed, and enabled the very terrorist groups they claimed to fight. A well-connected British spy, Michael Semple, MI6, and Stephen Carter from the CIA ran a covert network under the disguise of humanitarian NGOs, funneling money to Taliban and Al-Qaeda leaders. The deception, Talk for Peace, a front for terror funding. This is Michael Semple, an MI6 operative working under the cover of a professor at Queen's University, Belfast. But in reality, he was running a secret insurgency, funding Al-Qaeda commanders and manipulating global intelligence. In 2010, under the guise of a peace initiative, Semple established Talk for Peace International, TFPI. Officially, TFPI was created to promote reconciliation between the Taliban and the Afghan government. In reality, it was a front for money laundering and terrorist financing. Hundreds of thousands of dollars were funneled through TFPI. These funds were processed by Michael's close associates, including Ghulam Sarwar Bari, signed off on payments used for insurgent salaries, Yamima Mitha, facilitated fund transfers and terrorist payoffs. Mervyn Patterson used his UN salary account to transfer large sums of money undetected. The terrorist payroll, where did the money go? Through TFPI, MI6, and the CIA directly funded insurgent leaders, paying them salaries disguised as peace talks stipends. Some of the key beneficiaries included Mullah Malan, former teacher of Osama bin Laden, responsible for Taliban training camps. Amanullah and Fida-ur-Rahman, senior Taliban commanders who planned attacks on NATO and Afghan forces. Abdul Salam and Nur Agha, members of the Quetta Shura, who coordinated terror strikes. Syed Yaqeen and Naqib Stanakzai, MI6-backed Taliban spies, orchestrating bombings and assassinations. The payments were disguised as funds for humanitarian projects, but in reality, they financed suicide bombings, weapons procurement, and operational costs for Taliban insurgents. How many NATO soldiers died because of this? Their actions didn't just betray Afghanistan and Pakistan, they also betrayed the NATO soldiers who thought they were fighting for peace. But how many of them were killed because MI6 and the CIA were playing both sides? How many NATO soldiers walked into ambushes because their own intelligence agencies were working with the enemy? While Western forces were risking their lives, MI6 and CIA-backed insurgents were passing false intelligence, leading to failed operations, lost battles, and unnecessary deaths. The cover-up. How they got away with it. The British and American governments never held MI6 and the CIA accountable. Instead, they manipulated global intelligence, framing Pakistan's ISI as a terror sponsor while secretly running their own terror networks. The numbers don't lie. The more money TFPI received, the more deadly Taliban attacks became. Keep the insurgency alive. If the war ends, the funding stops. The questions the world must ask. Why did MI6 and CIA operatives fund Taliban and Al-Qaeda networks under the disguise of peace? How many NATO soldiers died because of their secret dealings? Why has the British government not answered for its role in financing terrorism? Why have the UN and Western intelligence agencies ignored this evidence? Should the UK and US be held accountable for state-sponsored terrorism? The world deserves answers. The families of fallen soldiers deserve justice. And the people of Afghanistan and Pakistan deserve peace. Final call to action. Demand an investigation. It's time to expose the truth. It's time to hold the real criminals accountable.